Swiss watches since 1853.
Welcome live to the last day of the World Fencing Championships. We're in the great Roman amphitheater in Nîmes, shaded like the Romans were by a huge velarium, and we're waiting to start the team final with the heavy brigade men's epee. Hungary against, believe it or not, Estonia. The Hungarians have been world champions 8 times since World Championships began. Many more times, of course, at saber, but at this, the dueling sword, 8 times. The Estonians have never been among the medals before. The Estonians, a small country on the Baltic, but I have to say that in the past they made up anything from a third to half the USSR team with the dueling sword. So they have a tradition, they have a reputation. Their team is Kaido Kabama, Milis Loit, Nikolai Novostrelov, with Sergei Vat as reserve. The Hungarians are Geza Imre, Ivan Kovac, Christian Kulsar and Attila Fekete. Well, now that's a Hungarian team that's been around for a while. They last won the World Championships in 1998. They've not been among the medals since, but this is the same team. Remember, the weapon which we in England called epee and everyone else simply calls the sword. The French word for sword is épée, so the French call it épée. The Germans call it dagger, which is the German for a sword, and the Italians and the Spanish call it espada. It is the nearest as safety will allow to the conditions of a real sword fight. No rules of right of way, no limited target. The French, who were the holders, sorry, the Italians, who were the holders, are nowhere. I'm just looking at the list of the last 8. Italians aren't there. The French, who won silver in the Olympic Games last year, were beaten by Estonia 45-37. The Hungarians beat the Spaniards 45-35, so that's 2 pretty conclusive victories. Remember, in team fencing, each fencer in a team of 3, unless replaced by reserve, of course, but teams of 3 fence, each one fences all 3 in the other team. And the scores are cumulative. The first fence for 4 minutes or until one has scored 5, the second for another 4, or until one has scored 10, and so on, 9 fights, all the way up to 45. Now, Jacques Rogge, we've just been told, the new president of the FIE, is in the audience. So, in the presence of Jacques Rogge, the new president of the International Olympic Association, we start the men's epee team event, Hungary against Estonia. As I said, Hungary beat Spain, Estonia beat France. They haven't fought the fight for bronze medal yet. And the first, Kaido Kabama against Christian Kulskar. Kabama on the right, Kulskar on the left. Kaido Kabama won bronze in 1999 and he came 4th in the Barcelona Olympics. That would have been a bronze medal in anything else. He comes to England a lot. Many of us know him in England. He's fenced in England. He's fenced often in our oldest World Cup event at men's epee. Used to be sponsored by Martini. Now to have a new trophy presented by the Epee Club, which celebrated its centenary last year. Kabama on the right, Kulskar on the left. Epee fights take longer than the foil ones and much longer than the saber. No rule of right of way, therefore once you've started going and know you've got right of way, in the other weapons you can keep at it, because if your opponent hits you it doesn't matter, both lights go on, but it's your hit. If both lights go on in epee, as in a real fight, you both hurt, you both score a point. You also have to hit 50% harder with the epee. Press the point against your opponent with 750 grams of pressure, hard enough to draw blood. As I say, as near as safety will allow to a real sword fight. And there's the first hit for Hungary. Kaido Kabama tried to stop it, but he didn't get it on. Nine fights, maximum that the winner can score is 45, each fight for a multiple of 5. Quite experienced Christian Kulskar, he's 30 years old. Kaido's a bit older, but... Whoa! Well, Kaido found the blade then, kept it aside with pressure as he put his point back on. Only one light, one each. Now listen to that smack. There's a lot of strength in this. The piece is 14 meters long. If you step over the end of it, you forfeit a hip. Well, nice parrying, Kulskar, and then there's the riposte on the back. Kabama trying to duck out of the way of it. 2-1. Well, I'm glad that the new president of the IOC is here. Rogue is a traditionalist. He takes a traditional view of the Olympic Games, I'm happy to say, and he is a friend to fencing. Oh, yes, I thought that was on too. Keep going, yeah. Well, you would have thought that Kaido Kabama would have got that on. He thought he was going to. But Kulskar's defense is very, very good. He doesn't even go for the hit until he's sure he's got the blade out of the way. I don't know how tall Christian Kolshar is, but Kaido's tall, so Christian Kolshar is very tall. Oh! Again, Kaido parries high, keeps his hand high, pressure up there, and then, look at that, down and flips the point onto the stomach. So, 2 to Kaberma, 3 to Kolshar, 2 to Estonia, 3 to Hungary. See the clock there, only 10 seconds to go. And Kaberma has evened it. Oh, there's a hit, putting Hungary 1 ahead. Little flip to the top of the hand and then underneath. 1-2 on the arm. About to run out of time. 1, 2, 3. They know they haven't got time for anything. So that's it. 1 hit lead to Hungary. Short break before the second fight.
Le deuxième relais va maintenant opposer Meeste pour l'Estonie.
Tissot, Swiss watches since 1853.
Spacious, luxurious, and comfortable. Welcome to the essence of contemporary minivan, Kia Carnival. All you need to do is to enjoy yourself. Surprise yourself with Kia Carnival. Kia Motors.
Tissot, Swiss watches since 1853.
Ivan Kovac of Hungary now against Meeste Leut. And nobody's moving. Now, there has been a suggestion that there ought to be a rule or some form of penalty against passive fencing, as they're calling it. Perhaps for the referee to call halt and making it the end of the period or the end of the fight. And there is something to doing that in a long 9-minute fight in a direct elimination. But I have to say that whether you like it or not, this inactivity in a team event in the fights of 4 minutes is actually part of the tactics. Sometimes in a team, when you have the strongest member of one team against the weakest member of the other, it is better for the weak one to defend himself and that can be done quite effectively. And it's easy to do if you have enough ground. I remember once fencing against a team of pentathletes who were so much fitter than my team that they could go backwards faster than we could go forwards. The bad ones stayed out of the way for 4 minutes and the good ones slaughtered us. The crowd don't like it, but it is a tactic. Now, Meeste Leut doesn't have anything like the experience of Ivan Kovac. 31-year-old Kovac came fourth in the Olympic Games in Atlanta. That's worth a bronze in a World Championship. Well, they've nearly got to half-time. The crowd don't like it. And the slight worry is that perhaps, after all the nice things I've said about our fan, the president of the new president of the International Olympic Association, who's sitting, that's him above the word accent, in the box there next to the president of the FIE, René Roch. He may not like this. As I say, it is a tactic. I would have thought it was a pity if they started introducing rules to penalize passive fencing, and I myself have argued against it, particularly in team events. Indeed, when we were discussing how the British should vote, I argued against it. I'd like to ring up the chairman of the committee, Peter Jacobs, and say, excuse me, Peter, can I change my vote? I don't think anyone's happy with this. 4 minutes of nothing. That's it, time's up, and they're ever so pleased with themselves.
Tissot, Swiss watches since 1853. Tissot, Swiss watches since 1853.
So now we have Geza Imre for Hungary against Nikolai Novostyolov of Estonia. The score is still 4-3, 5-3. Well, the fencing. Oh, nice attack. Feint. Down comes the parry. That wasn't a real attack. It drew a parry, and once the parry had come out, Geza Imre left it and came in to attack deep. Oh, pretty attack to the arm. Beautiful. That's 7. Standing quite far apart. And you note that unlike the sword fights that you see in films, they do not engage the blades. You give your opponent your blade, you're giving him a chance to do something with it. Oh! Neat little flick from the Vozchelov, somewhere on the wrist and the arm where? There, here it comes. Oh, just in there on the glove. 7-4. A long way to go. Oh, when in the end, several attempts, but eventually Imre gets one on. No, that's it in the end. 8-4. Well, ever so slow and steady, but Hungary are building up a lead. It's a double hit. At epee, you have double hits. 9-5, but of course, since there were no hits in the last fight, this one can go as far as 15. Yes. You could almost see Imre waiting. Stretch your arm out for me, thank you. And then over the top of it and onto the body. Off. Double hit. Imre is slightly disappointed that he picked one up on the way in there. Vozchelov has asked for a halt just to straighten his blade, I think. Well, nice attack, but nothing happened to it. Oh, another pretty hit. Just a little ping stop on the top of the wrist as the attack comes in. As in a real fight, or indeed in war, sometimes it's a good idea to tempt your enemy to commit himself. Tempt your opponent to commit himself. Seven 12. Oh, another one this time absorbing the attack. Actually, sort of two parries, or a parry and then a little beat. Make sure the blade's out of the way. Only 1 point in line as Imre comes out. Whoa! Well, basically Imre missed there. Parry, riposte clean over the top of the shoulder, and the continuation of the attack is on. 8-13. Same again, I think. Parry. Oh, ho, ho. Yes. Again, that riposte went over the shoulder and the continuation of the attack was on. Almost a minute to go. Hungary could get right up to its 15. Well, 14. Parry riposte. Parry riposte. Double hit. So that's it. Hungary up to 15. Made up for it. Back for the next fight in a second.
Tissot, Swiss watches since 1853. Tissot, Swiss watches since 1853.
Christian Kulchar on the left, Meeste Leut on the right. Fourth fight. Now to a maximum of 20. Hungary have a 5-hit lead, a whole fight's worth of lead. Last time Meeste Leut was on, he did absolutely nothing for 4 minutes. And oh boy. Is he the weakest of the team, and is this the plan? Just stay out of the way, boy, and leave it to the rest of us. Now, the referee. So, the referee is bringing them on guard again. Warned them. Yes, you can see Meeste Leut is clearly by far the weakest. I wish there was not. Now, what color? And that's a yellow card for... Right, for disturbing the good. At the moment, he hasn't really got a rule to play with, so he's doing disturbing the good order. So it's a warning. There's no other. Well, you can see the man is. What else can he do? Sometimes it's possible to go in and out and look as though you're fencing, but actually just be waiting to defend yourself against anything. Pretend to attack, run past. I suppose it's a little bit more risky than that. Well, at the moment, we don't have any information about these teams. It's extraordinary that the Estonians have got this far, but Leut is clearly the weakest member of the team, and he's simply staying out of the way in order not to give away any hits. You can see that he's what they call pommeling, holding his weapon by the pommel, which gives him that little bit of extra length. Well, the Estonians do have Sergei Vat, who is a reserve. Maybe they'll bring him on for the last. This is Leut's second fight, so he's only got one more to go. All right, they're moving up and down this time, but oh dear. There's no doubt that tactically, if he's not a match for these guys, this is the thing to do. Let the stronger members of the team. How the hell did they get this far? They've beaten France. They can't even keep their socks up. Wonderful. Old-fashioned. Bit of elastic there. Well. They beat Portugal, okay. Then they beat France. Now, a red card for stamping his foot. For what? Disturbing the good order. I think the crowd would have been happy if the referee had given a red card for scratching his head. I'm not quite sure how that's justified, but if he's saying you're stamping your foot, I didn't like that before, I gave you yellow for it, so now here's red. And or is it because his socks are falling down? Maybe it's because his socks are falling down. No, it's for the foot stamping. And as you heard, the referee's talking to him in English and saying that's not serious. You didn't mean it. It wasn't done to distract your opponent. It was just done for something to do. Show me where in the rule book you can actually give him a red card for that. So, by one means or another, Hungary have scored a hit in this fight, and there's still a minute and a half to go. All right, that looks serious. Well, I think Christian Kolschka could please the crowd by advancing and simply driving Lloyd to the back line and see if he couldn't get a hit by pushing him over the back line. As if he doesn't go back as you advance, then you may tempt him into making a mistake. And if he's so frightened of you as to stay out of your way, why are you so frightened of him? Best not to give a hit away, on the other hand, but there's a little bit of contributory negligence on the part of the Hungarians, I would have said. Push him back, push him back. Keep going. He's obviously going to retreat. Push him over the back line. Are we actually getting as far as booing now, or is whistling enough? I suppose that the Hungarian 5-hit lead might be, oh, come on, might be a lot greater. There's the time up. Well, nobody's happy. Kaberma on next.
Fin du 4e relais. Les avertissements et le carton rouge qui ont été donnés pour faute contre l'esprit sportif.
So, Kaido Kaberma will come on now. Now they've announced that the red card was for unsportsmanlike conduct. That is an arguable one. I think that's fair. On the other hand, as I say, it is a tactic. So, Geza Imre, Kaido Kaberma. Bronze medal in Atlanta, Geza Imre. Bronze in 1999 World Championship, Kaido Kaberma. And it was Geza Imre who was in the Hungarian, like all the Hungarians were in the Hungarian team that last won the World Championship in 1998. Now, is the tactic to let Kaido Kaberma do all the scoring? Or most of the scoring? It's not going to be enough. His first fight was 4-3. He was one behind. Well, it was a nice attack. Kaido's long reach over the top, but it didn't land. 17-10. Oh, same thing. The attack wasn't such a long stretch, and this time the stop hit lands on the back, one each, double hit. Oh, nice. Lifted it up. Lifted up out of the way and then under long before the replacement gets round to come on. Kaberma would have been better off trying to parry that counter-attack. Oh, 19-11. This one can go up to 25. Nice attack. Beat, push the blade out of the way. Push. Whoa, he didn't even. I heard them meet, but they met. Okay, 20-11. Oh, double, both in. Well, they're both being a bit cautious, but they're fencing and they're doing just enough to show you that epee fencing is a beautiful and exciting sport. So it's a little bit of a shame that at the moment there's a tactic which can involve doing absolutely nothing. Well, slightly hard luck there on Kaido. Look at that long, deep attack, but Imre seems to be a little bit better at bringing his point back in line. Turning it into at least a double. Mostly doubles. So the Hungarians hang on to their lead and just creep closer to victory. 23-14. Ooh. Nothing on. A description of what he was doing, but actually what he says he was doing there, that foot stamping, is not what he was actually doing when he was on the piste. It was much more of a stamp for its own sake. Not a distracting stamp as you come forward. Oof. Lovely looking attack from Geza Imre, but now here it comes, but it's blocked out of the way by Kaido, who then ducks in case there's a replacement and puts his point on the shoulder. That one's through. Slow-mo started a little late there. The attack was from Kaido Kaburma, but Gay Zimre found it, put the blade aside, and then again comes, closes the distance, gets under the point. Well, that's enough. 25. Gay Zimre is 27. He looks a lot younger, doesn't he?
Sixième relais de cette finale d'épée masculine qui va opposer Nikolai Novosjolov pour l'Estonie à Ivan Kovac pour la Hongrie.
Well, it's Ivan Kovac and Nikolai Novosjolov. Kovac is 31, came fourth in Atlanta in '96. As they say, like all the members of this team, a member of the Hungarian team that won last time. And 1998. It's just an attack, really, and half an hour after the attack started, Novosjolov attacks into it. Oh, it's faster. Whoa. Well, that was a nice, neat little attack. Over the top there onto the arm, blocking out the blade. I was about to mutter, and these guys beat the French, how did they do that? But if they fenced like that, maybe that's how they did it. Whoa! Well, now. Nikolai Novosjolov seems to have gone under a metamorphosis in the last few seconds. Oh. Well, he tried a little neat parry riposte to the wrist, but the very, very fast replacement was on first from Kovac. Still a 10-hit lead to Hungary. This is the 6th of 9 fights. We go all the way, if necessary, to 45 hits. Lunge way out of distance. Whoa! Now, was the attack on, or did the point just wait for the stop to? The attack, oh, look at that, right on the wrist. Right on the wrist. The attack actually started after Novosjolov was hit. Oh. Blade knocked out of the way, and then a flick in at the wrist. Didn't even go on for the body, he just went for the wrist. The referee is, I can't see, but I think he's asking Kovac to straighten his blade. Oh, one more hit. Oh, very pretty. Well, that's how good it can be. This is a very young fencer. As I say, the embargo has prevented us from knowing too much about these people. There's that last lovely little hit, beautiful hit on the wrist.
Alors que nous procédons à un changement d'arbitre et que c'est monsieur Victor Gros-Pierre
So now,
qui arbitrera
will
les derniers relais.
Geza Imre meet the dreaded Milis Loit, or will Sergei Vat, the as Major Groupier from Argentina is the referee. He's not going to take any more nonsense than the last one. Let's see. Aha. A new face. I don't know him, but I suggest that's Sergei Vat. Well, he went for it, but didn't do him any good. Parry riposte over the top, and then there's another binding parry, and if the first one didn't bring up a light, the second one did. Double hit. Attack to the body, stop over the top. Hold for Korakor, no hit, no light came up. Oh! Well, no. Vat missed the wrist but left it out and got some body eventually. I do venture to ask why Vat, it was the reserve. Why wasn't he fencing in the last two? And why won't anyone tell me? Nice long deep attack. Flesh attack, although the running starts almost when the point is there. Parry riposte as the attack comes in. Imre knocks it aside. There's the parry, there's the riposte under the arm. Straighten your blade. Obviously a nice bend in the blade gives you a chance to get over the top of your opponent's guard and onto the wrist without having to lift your hand and expose your own arm to your opponent's point. Oh, lovely. Look at that deep attack. So 35-19, oh dear, and 2 fights to go. Next one's to 40, and then 41. Novosjolov and Kulshar. Well, Imre fenced well there. Now that's Novosjolov. And his opponent, his tall opponent, Kulshar. Christian Kolchar. 35-19. Well, from what we've seen so far, the next two fights we can just have the Hungarians giving us a nice demonstration of pretty hits like that one. Parry, riposte. Very neat. The point is in line, the attack comes and the point just stays out. If it misses the wrist before the elbow, it goes on and gets the arm further up. Nice deep attack. As I say, some nice demonstration fencing. I've shown you some defensive stuff. Now there's a 1-2 attack. Kolchar being told to straighten his blade again. Lovely. Now, not only a nice deep attack, but an example of picking exactly the right moment. Make the attack. Ideally, as you can see, your opponent's feet starting to come forward. Oh. Well, it was a nice, neat hit. Again, similar one, take him by surprise. One more and Kolchar's finished. And that's the one more. So, the Hungarians go into the last fight of the World Championships, needing to score 5 hits, and with the Estonians needing to score 20 hits just to catch up with them, 25 to win. Kovac against Kaberma. Kaberma, Kaido Kaberma on the right, Ivan Kovac on the left. Well, Kaido Kaberma could humiliate himself by throwing it away 5-0 by rushing at his opponent, but what's he got to lose? If he could rush him, he's got to score 25 hits in 4 minutes, and that's not the way to do it. He's got to score 25 hits before Kovac scores 5. It was 5, it's now 4. There really isn't much choice. Run at him. Otherwise, this is just a 5-hit match. Go for it. Every second counts. Well, there's a hit. 21-41. You see the way the bodies twist with some of those parries, partly to avoid the blade and partly to put some strength behind it. Aha! Right. Let's see the clock. Ooh, he's got to score at a faster rate than that. He's going to have a chance. Oh dear. It looked like an attempt to take the blade. Yeah, but he didn't. He waving round and round there, trying to find the blade with a huge circular parry, but Kaberma failed to find it. It kept coming through. Kovac needs 3. Hungary needs 3 to be world champions yet again. Oh. Oh-ho! One more, but face it, folks, you've got to go better than that. 2 minutes, 40 seconds. Still over 20 hits to score. That's what, a hit every 10 seconds at least. And the Hungarians now need only 2. Oof. Well, staying out of the way, and then when Kovac is at full stretch, Kaberma gives him a little beat and on. Double hit. 44-25. The Hungarians need 1 more hit, and they've got over 2 minutes in which to get it, and they can give away 19 hits in the process. Kaberma's pointing, I don't know what at. That's the one. Block the attack, point on, and the Hungarians are world champions. The Hungarian team that last won in 1998. They beat Spain in the semi-finals. Before that, 39-38, they beat Germany. 1-hit victory over Germany in the quarter-finals. That was the fight that did it for them. So a victory over Germany for Hungary. Congratulations. But I think, to be fair, the real victory there is not even over Spain 45-34, but the victory over Germany before that 39-38. What an unfortunate week the Germans have had. But that's the one, that's the president of the Hungarian Federation. So, we'll take a break and then we'll be back for just a little longer.